Hi, Gil. How are you?
Thank you.
I think I left my glasses in the. Oh, wait a minute. I got it. Oh, this is cool.
Gil, how you doing?
Get the yard you want. Very nice. Is that from you, Gil?
What?
The book?
Yeah.
Oh, very
We have
nice.
extra if you have any for family members.
Okay.
Yeah, it's produced by Western Agency in Riverside. We got a lot of extras.
It looks awesome.
You let me get my camera and just take pictures of it and turn it side by side. Okay, enough of that. Okay.
Oh, John.
So there's extras we have.
Okay.
Hey, Joseph. How are you, Gil?
You still taking the kids on the special?
Here they are.
Oh my God. But nothing's changed. Here they are. Wow. 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 This man's real special right here. You know that.
Actually, he's writing a book.
Really? You putting his name in there? Make sure you save a little room.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And motion passes. It is 7:23. Open session will begin now. We have a pledge of allegiance. Tonight we have a full school board meeting, but first let's have the president of the San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District, Mrs. Susan Lean Longville, please lead us in the pledge.
Wow. That's great.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you. Next, we'll have a report out of closed session.
Thank you, President Walker. We have several. On May 17th, 2017, the Board of Education took action to accept the compensation agreement by and between the district and certificated employee number 1694217. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Caroline Sweeney as high school assistant principal at Rialto High School. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Kimberly Watson as middle school principal, Frisbee Middle. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Bridget Ely as lead special services agent, special education. The roll call vote was unanimous. And the Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Kelly Bruce as lead innovation agent. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Okay, thank you. Now we have the adoption of the agenda, but prior to that, on page, for reference number K 8.1 at the bottom of the page under reviewed by, it should read reviewed by Mohammed Z. Islam. So it's K8. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous and passes.
And I
Next-
had an eye as well.
Oh, thank you, sir. Next, we'll have our presentation, San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District presentation by Gil Navarro, Division II Vice President. And I'm in the way.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Superintendent. I just wanted to share with you a PowerPoint that we put together. This is taking a look at water supply reliability in the San Bernardino Valley and recognizing the outstanding achievements in water conservation by the Rialto Unified School District. With not further ado, let me introduce you to Susan Longwell, our president, who's going to conduct the PowerPoint.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to come here and to recognize your outstanding achievements in water conservation. But I never like to miss an opportunity to talk about water supply reliability in the San Bernardino Valley, because we live in a unique place, and most of us, what we know about water is that we turn on the tap and the water comes out, and we know that the water leaves our homes, but we don't know too much more than that. But in California, our challenge is that most of our precipitation is in the north, and most of our population lives in the south. And the question I hear this year from everyone, is the drought over? And while the drought is over, as you can see, throughout the state, here in Southern California, the drought is very much still with us. It is extremely dry, and our groundwater basins have not recovered, and our surface water supplies that we're getting from our mountains are very low. And in fact, California, when it became a state more than 150 years ago, was in a period of history that was very wet. This is a semi-arid portion of the world that has experienced very long droughts, 200 years or more. So as we move forward, we now have our eyes wide open, and we say, we need to be prepared. This could happen again, and especially with the scientific evidence of climate change. So where does our water come from here in the San Bernardino Valley? The Rialto Colton Basin, where you are, you have a supply that comes from Lytle Creek, from runoff and from imported supplies here. Most of the rest of San Bernardino and a good portion of Riverside get their water from the groundwater basins in the Bunker Hill Basin. We also have a little water which we called Riverside North, which is just north of San Bernardino, and then the Yucaipa Basin. But most of our water still comes from precipitation and from our local mountains. The water that you're seeing up here is the imported water that we bring in from Northern California. And a very small percentage of water in our valley is treated wastewater that is reused. It's treated to a very high level, and then it's put in percolation ponds, and it goes back into our groundwater basin. So rather than putting it in the Santa Ana River and sending it down to Orange County, where they treat it and reuse it, we're using it here, and we're trying to develop a whole lot more of it. So, but where do we really use our water? We use our water primarily outdoors, about a third of it indoors. And this includes all the water that we use for commercial and industrial, and institutional uses. Most of it still goes outside. Our water supply, comes from, as I was showing you, some recycled water that we store in groundwater basins and in some reservoirs out in Redlands on the East Branch of the State Water Project. Here in Rialto, you're seeing a big project up in the Cactus Basins. We're working with the flood control district so that when we have stormwater from our local mountains, we can capture it and we can get it in your Rialto Colton Basin. It's a joint project that we're doing with water supply agencies here in Rialto Colton Basin. But primarily, we're looking to conservation as a key tool to providing you a reliable water supply for generations to come, and also to making sure the state water project remains reliable through the proposed project that you hear about, California Water Fix, the tunnels that we're looking at building up in the Sacramento area. But the fact is here in the Rialto Colton Basin, your safe yield from the basin is a whole lot less than what you actually use. So we have to continue to work on conservation. We have to continue to address the fact that the cumulative storage in your basin is continuing to go down, It would be a whole lot worse if it wasn't for the water that we bring in from the State Water Project. You'd be down here. This difference is made up by the fact that we buy water. The city of Rialto buys water, and West Valley Water District buys water from Northern California, and you put it back in your basins. So we're working very hard to keep this basin healthy and to make sure your water suppliers don't have to lower their wells and spend additional money on treatment and send this basin into overdraft. But where does our water really come from? It comes from way up at the top of the state, works its way down through the Sacramento River until it gets down to the state and federal pumps. And when it gets down there, it begins to make its journey down to the Central Valley into Southern California. But question that you hear all the time is Southern California taking all of Northern California's water? And the fact is, most of the water from Northern California continues to flow out to the ocean, from our rivers. I mean, we have our fisheries and our environment's very important in California. Most of the water does end up going out to the ocean. About 25% comes down to Southern California or ends up in the Central Valley. So this is our service area. We're the wholesale agency here in the valley. We represent everything from Rialto all the way over here to Colton, way past Yucaipa. This is the Seven Oaks Dam, where the Army Corps of Engineers provides flood protection. Down below here, where we do a lot of active recharge, where we recharge State Water Project water and we capture water from the streams. But this is our whole service area. And our infrastructure that you'll see here, all of our pipelines, deliver this water that comes down above Cal State, comes through the mountains at Silverwood Lake, and those big giant white pipes you see above Cal State, that's the Devil Canyon pumping plant. And that's where all the water that goes into Los Angeles and makes its way down to San Diego actually comes in. So we distribute it all over our district, and then we also have pipelines, so we can also use some of our pipelines to get it into the metropolitan service area. But we're a wholesale agency, and it's our job to maintain these groundwater basins and to recharge them and to get the water to our retailers. But we're really here today to talk about water conservation. And this is our demonstration garden that our district built out at Cal State that illustrates all the beautiful types of landscapes you can have. We like to say that if all you do grass is wonderful. It's wonderful for family time. It's wonderful for children. It's wonderful for sports, for picnics. But if all you do with grass is mow it, it's time to think about replacing it with something that's going to use a whole lot less water, and for generations to come. This is a home in Redlands that took out all their grass. I took all my grass 6.5 years ago in my front and backyards, and I haven't missed it one bit. And I enjoy the flowering plants. So during this drought, the state of California made a lot of money available to take out turf. And one particular project I want to bring your attention to is what was called the Institutional Turf Rebate Program. Rialto has been a leader in taking advantage of this program, and we've taken out a tremendous amount of square feet of turf. A lot of medians, schools, parks, government buildings, some homeowner associations, their common spaces, even some fire stations. But who's the real winner on taking advantage of this money that's available? It's the city of Rialto. It's West Valley Water District. In our whole service area, you are the champions. And that comes from leadership. It comes from leadership at the city. It comes from leadership at West Valley Water District. It comes from leadership at this school district. We still have money left over. We don't have $2 a square foot, but we have $1 a square foot. Right now we have another $208,000 available, but we'll keep replenishing that. I like to tell, when I met with the associate superintendent, I said, I would like to have more demand than we have funding so that we can continue to allocate more money for funding. So the more you need it, the more we're going to make it available, because truly you are the champions. And there's one person in particular who, this is this $1 a square foot money. You can see that even with that money that's gone out, you add the city of Rialto and West Valley together, you by far pass everybody else in the valley. Rialto is really the leaders. And I just want to close with basically telling you how impressed our district is with Rialto Unified School Districts. I mean, you really are the champions. And we brag about you, and we're going to continue bragging about you. But the accomplishments that you have begin at the top with your superintendent and your assistant superintendent and your senior management. But you have a ground supervisor who is absolutely a gem, who's come to present to our board and absolutely blew us away. So we'd especially like to congratulate you, and congratulate him for what he's doing. It really, this is so encouraging to us to be here tonight, and it's just an honor on behalf of my board to congratulate you for your achievements. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to add one last thing is I know the board members have in front of you this booklet. This is a step-by-step guide to get the yard you want. And so SAPA, I understand, purchased these. And we have more extra outside. I know we've given many of them to the families and guests here. There's more outside. So with that, I want to say thank you for the opportunity.
And one more thing. Please don't stop the tradition of having your students introduce themselves and tell us what they want to do.
Okay, well,
They're like,
stand on my left. Stand up.
have them come. Will you come to the mic, please?
Oh, come over here.
Good evening. My name's Cecia Romero. I'm one of Gil Navarro's students, and I currently go to San Bernardino Valley College. And my major is undecided.
All right.
So.
I have to add that she ended up Valley with a 3.8 all A's.
Wow.
All right.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Alcaraz, and my major is sociology and neuroscience, and I'm going to University of Riverside, and I'm also one of Gil Navarro's students.
Ashley, a great moment.
She's like, yeah, no.
You can stay, talk from there if you want. Stand up from there.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley.
I just want to add one thing. She is writing a book.
Oh.
She's writing a book.
Wow.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Next, we'll have public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. Avalado, do we have
We have several. Tina Sanchez.
Good evening. My name is Tina Sanchez, resident of Rialto. I'm in receipt of the certified letter that was mailed to my address in response to my former complaint. My complaint not only required the attention of the board members and the superintendent, but I also requested that it be formally forwarded to Sacramento on behalf of me for further investigation. If this was done, it was not indicated as such in your response letter. The termination and removal of Mr. O from his role as principal cannot be glossed over by the board members or the superintendent by simply stating that it is a personnel matter. You, the board member, the superintendent, should be held accountable for your irrational decision-making process, and your actions need to be questioned and justified. What exactly were the determining factors for terminating Mr. O? What precedents do we have for what you did to him in this district? In his particular case, why the drastic measures when there are no criminal charges of any sort against him? Just this year, a principal was removed from his position and given a job as an assistant principal of a high school. Was Mr. O offered this opportunity to remedy or correct the so-called behavior that had him removed? And since he was not offered the opportunity, why not? What is the process? Is it fair and is it consistent for all? You claim that it was a personnel matter, then explain why a female director, lead innovation agent, not a part of the personnel department, why was she the person that delivered and advised Mr. O of the district's intention of terminating him and giving him 30 hours to forcefully resign or that he would be terminated? But yet, what qualification did the director possess that would have allowed her to have taken the role of terminating an employee? And what's worse is that she too is no longer employed with our USD. It should be the responsibility of the director of personnel or the superintendent to advise and personally deliver pink slips. Furthermore, the phrase loss of confidence should not be taken lightly and utilized as your resource to terminate our leaders. They need due process. Mr. O did not have one bad evaluation or write-up. He was never accused of any criminal acts. He fixed a broken school. He had the ability to relate to the students and has an excellent rapport with the staff and community. His test scores ranked second or third in comparison to all of our other middle schools. Therefore, my request is to seek the assistance of Sacramento for a thorough investigation and look into unfair labor practices utilized in Rialto Unified School District and in reference to unjust termination. My question to the board and the superintendent, did you submit my formal complaint to Sacramento? I will ask again. Did you submit my request to Sacramento? I demand an answer before the meeting is closed tonight. One last thing, are you, board members and the superintendent, unaware of the chain of command as it pertains to voters, community member, board members, and the superintendent? Once again, I will reiterate the fact that you, the board members, do not answer to the superintendent. The superintendent answers to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lorette Allen.
It's tall.
Hi. A couple things. For one, I want to thank our superintendent, our board, and our district office for allowing me to be part of the process on the interview panel for our new leader, Frisbee. I thought it was a really neat process. My first time ever participating. I think it's a great process, and I think it works. Second thing, I'm going to give a big shout out to Mohammed Islam for his communication skills. Since I've been dealing with this since last year, I've sent emails and correspondence back and forth. Since I've included Mr. Islam's name on these emails, I'm getting prompt attention. Today he reached out and made a phone call. We had a long discussion about what's been happening in my classroom, and I appreciate just him taking the time to let me know, because by him reaching out and communicating with me, it lets me know that we are making steps forward, we are making progress, we're trying to change and fix what's wrong in our school. So I really appreciate that, and I wanted to give him kudos because I appreciate his time he gave me. Yay for Mohammed. Yes, most definitely. Yay for Mohammed. We're going to have a healthy school for all of our students. This isn't, I just handed out the maintenance policy because in the board minutes, it showed the new maintenance policy, and there were some words that I thought we could improve upon, and they're in yellow. I noticed when I've been getting copies of the maintenance requests from Mohammed, they are sorted, which I think is great. One of the things that said regular inspections, we thought monthly inspections of school playground equipment would be a little safer because we don't know what regular meant. quarterly maintenance on mechanical systems, and I think that would really behoove our district to be proactive instead of reactive, because I think had we been proactive, some of the things we wouldn't be encountering today. Communicating with site clerical and the work order requester when the work order has been submitted. I want to say WTF, where's the follow-up? As long as we're having follow-up, we can handle this. If I put the work order in, I know it's handled because there's something that comes back and lets me as the teacher or the secretary, whatever position, know that the work's being done and completed in a timely manner. I noticed that there was a sort system. Looking at the papers that Mohammed did send me, it said priority was high and medium. There was no low. I think that maybe a little bit of feedback. I saw some things like they clean my classroom. They steam clean the classroom. Mohammed and I talked about possible getting the air quality test done because I'm really concerned with that. But we just want to give you some more suggestions because we see we're working towards something, and as long as we keep working together, I think we can do a good job and get this done. So I just wanted to give kudos. Mohammed, I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Marco Antonio Villalobos.
Buenas tardes, miembros.
Good evening, members.
Soy Marco Antonio Villalobos, presidente de Rialto United, de una liga de niños.
I am Marco Antonio Villalobos, president of a soccer league for children.
La razón que estoy aquí es para apoyo del señor Mr. O porque está haciendo las cosas muy bien.
And the reason why I'm here is in support of Mr. O because he's doing things quite well.
Y yo tengo niños que están en la frisbee y hablan muy bien del señor Mr. O, por eso estoy aquí apoyándolo.
And I have children in my league that go to Frisbee Middle School that speak so well of Mr. O, and that's the reason why I'm here in support of him.
Créame lo que estoy aquí porque yo sé que el Mr. O está haciendo las cosas bien, si no, no lo apoyara. Yo sé que es una persona que está haciendo cosas muy bien.
And believe me that I'm here because Mr. O is doing things quite well, and that is the reason why I'm supporting him. Otherwise, I wouldn't support him, but he's doing quite well.
Y reitero, él tiene programas que ninguna escuela tiene, se ha preocupado por sus estudiantes, se ha preocupado por los papás, porque progresen, para que hagan algo mejor en la vida.
And I repeat, he has programs that no other school has. He has been concerned with doing well for the children and doing well for the community and the parents.
Okay, él tiene programas que los papás están, por ejemplo, yo estoy avanzando, yo no hablo muy bien inglés, pero estoy aprendiendo bastante ahí por las clases que él nos está profesionando, así que es buen principal y lo estoy apoyando por eso.
And I know he has programs for parents. For instance, myself, I don't speak very well English, and I'm learning English and I'm advancing in my English because of the programs that he has set up for the parents, and he's doing other things for people, and that's the reason why I'm here supporting him.
Y no nomás yo, hay muchas personas que están agarrando el curso y están muy felices porque están aprendiendo computación, están aprendiendo algo por la comunidad.
And it isn't just myself. There are other people who are taking these courses as well, who are learning computers and other things, and he's doing great things for the community.
Como está la situación de que cosas malas están en internet, él está preocupando para que estén haciendo algo positivo para la comunidad, o sea que para que no piensen algo malo.
And with this situation, with so many bad things going on in the internet, he's doing things also to educate community so that they don't go online and do bad things.
Y yo he luchado porque atrás de mí tengo varias personas que me apoyan y voy a llegar hasta lo último porque estoy siendo una persona que está haciendo las cosas bien y voy a apoyarlo hasta el último.
And I'm here fighting for him because I have many people that support me, and I'm going to take this to the end, and I'm going to fight all the way to the end because he's doing things well.
Y si es necesario voy a traer los coaches para que vean que hay apoyo, que estamos apoyando, porque es una buena persona y hay que apoyarlo.
And if it is necessary, I'll bring all the coaches who support me so that you can see that we support him because he's doing things well. And if it is necessary that we come and support him, we will.
Y si es necesario, cada junta voy a estar aquí apoyándolo al 100.
And if it is necessary, I'll be here at every meeting supporting him 100%.
Muchas gracias, eso es todo.
Thank you, that's all.
Christina O'Hanley.
Buenas noches a miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Cristina O'Hanley. Hoy esta noche voy a usar mi lenguaje para que me entiendan bien.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Cristina O'Hanley. Tonight I'm going to use my language so that the board can understand me well.
Si no pude venir la última junta fue porque mi padre ha estado delicado y he estado visitando presos y he estado enterrando a los muertos.
If I hadn't been coming to the last meetings, it's because my father has been in delicate health, and I have been visiting prisoners, and I have been burying dead people.
I'm here tonight because on the 30th I was watching the recordings for the last meeting y miré el presupuesto que ustedes pusieron para los programas especiales.
And I saw the budget that you guys proposed for the special programs.
Mi pregunta para ustedes, en esta proposición, ¿están incluyendo también los niños de las necesidades especiales como ADHD, autismo y el Asperger's y cualquier otro impedimento que tienen los niños?
And my question to you is, in this proposed budget, are you also including children with special needs, such as ADHD, autism, Asperger's, and other children with special needs?
Porque si nada más están incluyendo a niños porque ellos no se pueden mover o no pueden explicarse bien o necesitan de otra persona para que los ayude, yo estoy de acuerdo que se les ayude a ellos.
Because if you're only including children who are not able to express themselves well or require of the assistance of a person in order to do the things they need to do, then I'm in agreement that they be helped.
Pero también quiero que incluyan a aquellos niños que también tienen disabilidades de diferentes formas.
But I also want you to include those other children who might have disabilities that seem different.
Porque esos niños se han catalogado como niños inquietos, imperativos y muchas de las veces los maestros no saben cómo identificarlos y les dan el título de niños mal portados.
Because those children have other categorizations, such as restless children, hyperactive children, and because the teachers don't know how to categorize them or label them, they have been labeled as children who behave poorly.
Los mandan al security, con los seguridad, y los castigan, llaman al papá, le dan una lista, o este niño no puede estar aquí porque se portó mal.
And they're sent to the security. They are punished, their parents are called, and they're put on a list, and in which list they say this child can't be here because he's not well behaved.
Otra cosa, también tengo dos niños que tienen problemas de aprendizaje. ¿Qué van a hacer con esos niños? ¿Les van a dar la ayuda que ellos requieren?
Another thing, I also have 2 children who have learning disabilities, and what are you going to do with them? Are you also going to give them the help that they require?
Porque yo estoy de acuerdo que se les dé ayuda a los niños que tienen incapacidades, pero hay muchas incapacidades de diferentes maneras. No nada más se enfoquen en aquellos que tienen ayuda también por parte del centro regional, agencias públicas, el condado. Yo quiero que también esos niños que tienen esa ayuda, también esa ayuda se les dé a los niños que están dentro de nuestro plantel y que también requieren esas ayudas, que no se deshagan de ellos y que porque no tienen impedimentos físicos se ignoren.
And because I'm in agreement that you help those children who have disabilities, but I also want you to apply that help to those other children who have different abilities or different behavioral or emotional issues, because they also need that help, and you need to apply that help to them as well.
Eso es lo que quiero, y también yo le doy las gracias porque veo que en su presupuesto está incluido el lenguaje. Yo quiero que mi hija regrese al distrito escolar de Rialto y reciba la ayuda que ella necesita para su niño con el habla.
And that's all I want to tell you, and I want to thank you because I see that in your budget, you're also including allowing for speech and language. And I want my daughter to come back to school because she needs help with her speech.
So, eso es lo que yo quiero decirles y por favor no excluyan a los niños. Por favor, yo insisto en que se les den un entrenamiento especial a los maestros y que cada uno de ellos tome el tiempo de mirar cada agenda de cada niño, cada estudiante y vea los problemas que tiene cada niño. Porque acuérdense que vivimos en una sociedad que no todas las familias son enteras, muchas familias son quebradas.
And that's all I want to say. And I want you to include all the children, but I also want you to give special training to the teachers so that they all can look at the agendas of each child to see what their needs are. And
que no sé, familias que están quebradas.
And also remember that we live in a society where not all the families, every family is a whole family, but there are many broken families as well.
Esta semana tuve que asistir a un funeral de un niño por ser foster home.
This week I had to go to the funeral of a child who was a foster child.
Se quitó la vida porque le hicieron broma, lo hacían bully porque estaba en una casa que no era de él.
He took his own life because he had been joked on and he was bullied because he was in a house that was not his house.
Este niño pertenece a la escuela de Rialto.
And this child belongs to the school, the Rialto school.
Y él estaba atendiendo durante el verano y dejó de ir y pues pasó lo inevitable.
And he was going to school during the summer, but he stopped going, and then the inevitable happened.
Y también otra cosa que está pasando con las escuelas durante el verano.
Another thing that's going on with schools during the summer.
Yo sé que es especialmente para los que necesitan el programa de verano.
And I know that this is specifically with children who need the summer program.
Pero hay veces que hay inconveniencias. Yo tuve
But there are
que...
times when there are inconveniences.
El 29 yo tuve que ir a un funeral de un miembro de mi familia y saqué a mi niña y ahí no me permitieron que mi niño regresara a la escuela.
On the 29, I had to go to the funeral of a person in my family, and I took my child out of school, and then they didn't allow my child to go back to school.
So, quiero respuestas, por favor.
I want some answers, please.
No estoy hablando con un poco de coraje,
And I'm
pero
speaking a little bit out of anger.
Pero yo soy una persona que yo no dejo que el coraje me domine, sino yo lo domino a él.
But I'm the kind of person that won't let anger take control of me. Rather, I'll control my anger.
Pero quiero que por favor ustedes me ayuden y quiero que estas personas, estos niños que viven en casas de crianza, no sean discriminados.
But I want you to help me, and I want that these kids who live in foster homes should not be discriminated.
Por ser ellos que no tienen casa y que vienen
Simply
a nuestro
because-
distrito y se les ignora.
Simply because they don't have their own home, and they come to our district and they're simply ignored.
Por favor, yo voy a hacer lo posible de seguir estando aquí y si me tengo que ir hasta Sacramento, lo voy a hacer.
Please, I'm going to do everything possible to continue coming here. But if I have to go all the way to Sacramento, then I'll do that.
Pero quiero empezar aquí con ustedes,
But I want to begin here
porque
with you
ustedes
guys,
son mi primera escalera
because you're my first step,
y quiero confiar en ustedes.
and I want to trust you.
Y yo tengo confianza en usted, superintendente,
And I trust you, Superintendent.
y quiero que por favor me ayuden.
And I want you to please help me.
Y la última cosa que quiero decir,
And the last thing I want to say,
a Mr. Ayala, Mr. Martínez, Mr. Montes, gracias por su atención
thank you for your attention.
y quiero agradecerle a usted por haberme invitado a participar en la elección del nuevo principal de nuestra Frisbee.
And I want to thank you for having invited me to participate in the choosing of the new principal at Frisbee.
Creo que hoy esta vez sí nos están tomando en cuenta como padres
I think that this one time around, you are taking us into consideration as parents.
y eso cambia mi opinión con ustedes.
And that changes my opinion in regards to you guys.
Muchas gracias y con permiso.
Thank you very much.
We have no more not on the agenda.
Okay. Now we'll have public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do you have any?
Francesca Henderson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I came here tonight to discuss my concern for the proposed building and grounds policy changes that are on the agenda for review tonight. Since March, we have been trying to ensure that going forward, the buildings in our district will be maintained properly and in a timely manner, and that all maintenance requests will have 100% transparency between M&O, the site, and the requester of the work order. This transparency, in turn, then should create an accountability system and open communication. The changes proposed tonight are written in extremely general terms and do not include any form of communication or accountability. Not one item that we proposed to be placed on the policy was included. This leads me to wonder, do we have the right person in charge of our safety? The person we need to look to is Derek Harris. What are his goals for this policy, and is he qualified and motivated to raise the standards? Does he understand what is needed? Derek Harris came into our district and was awarded a position I would question his qualifications for. Regardless, throughout our ordeal at Frisbee, his comments and actions have been questionable. For example, he was one of several that used the sniff test to deem toxic rooms safe. He said that the odor in one of our rooms was from water-based paint that was being used next door, when that room he referred to had no smell and the odorous room had a gas leak. He cleared B9 the day Miss Allen had to be rushed to the hospital from chemical inhalation by walking in and smelling nothing 5 hours after the event. He also called and deemed that the room was clear to Dr. Fox so that Miss Allen could return to her room, which Mr. Fox did not allow. Then after a couple of months, as students sat in that toxic room, a face-to-face meeting was conducted with Derek Harris. He stated that B9 and the B building had never been officially cleared. Should these words and actions make us feel confident in our current policy or our senior director? We need a policy that is concise, measurable, and that incorporates communication and accountability. The changes are pointless otherwise. We gave you our suggestions, and once again, we feel ignored. We definitely are not on the same page yet as it pertains to the goal of a new and improved maintenance policy. The point has been missed. Please do not vote to approve the changes to the policy. Please request that it be reworked again with our suggestions as a priority. Thank you.
Christopher Flores.
Going
Okay,
once.
next.
No more.
No more? Okay, excellent. At this time, we'll have comments from Association Executive Board members, Rialto Education Association, REA. Nobody? I don't think they're here. Okay. California School Employees Association, CSEA. Communication Workers of America, CWA. No? Oh, excellent, thank you. Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA? No? Okay, that was quick. Good reports. Next, we'll have the comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Walker, and I am wishing all students and staff members a safe, fun, and relaxing summer break, as we are just less than a month away from the beginning of school on August the 7th. But I want to start today with kudos for some of our kids. We have National Athlete Rising, straight out of J.P. Kelly Elementary School. Congratulations to National Junior Olympic Boxing Competition champion of the 70 pounds division, Kenny Lobatos, who is 10 years old, and Rialto's float like a butterfly, sting like a bee boxer. I met and spoke with Kenny and his father a few months ago, earlier in the school year, a few months ago, and I know he was training for this upcoming event, so we're glad the news was favorable. The Project Fighting Chance competition was held in Charleston, West Virginia, and boxing takes a lot of skill, discipline, and dedication, and he has kept up his grades and doing a great job so far, so congratulations, Kenny. I also want to send a stemful congratulations to Angel and Abel Montes, future juniors at Eisenhower High School. These scholars flew to Boston, Massachusetts on the weekend of June 30th with their parents. They were nominated and selected to take part in the 2017 Congress of Future Scientists and Technology Leaders for high schoolers. They joined and met with the nation's top STEM students qualifiers. So congratulations to twin brothers who experienced a chance of a lifetime in their young academic lives. And congrats to you, Mr. Montes, for being that lucky dad who gets to tell us about that trip. We will honor Kenny, Abel, and Angel in August at one of our August board meetings when we come back to school. And now some of our upcoming events. Next Wednesday, July the 19th, the district will be holding our summer school graduation at Rialto High School in the theater at 6 p.m. This graduation will include Eisenhower, Myler, Rialto, and Carter High School students. We are excited that these students will have the opportunity to graduate and collect their diplomas. On Friday, July 28th, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, the RUSD Safety Department will hold a school safety fair at the Cesar Chavez Dolores Huerta Center for Education, located at 324 North Palm Avenue here in Rialto. We invite all of our district families to attend this educational event, which will feature safety demonstrations and introduce our new intervention programs and safety awareness classes. We hope to see you there. And even though school will be back in session in the RUSD on August 7th, the district will be participating in the city's National Night Out with the Rialto Police Department on August 1st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will have a district booth, and we look forward to connecting with community leaders, parents, students, and sharing information with potential parents and students who are thinking of enrolling at one of our schools. And also remember, the District Registration Center is now open at 260 South Willow Avenue in Rialto, and it is our one-stop shop for student enrollment. And during the summer break, I would like to focus on where some of our students are heading to. We have students from all attending schools all over the state: Berkeley, UCLA, USC, San Diego State, and so many other institutions of higher learning. And with that, I want to send a big congratulations to parent Mrs. Fabiola Dunn, who is watching us tonight, and her daughter, a Rialto High School graduate, Catherine Cardosa, will be attending UC Davis in the fall, majoring in biological science and fulfilling her wish to be a medical doctor and come back to the Inland Empire. Good luck, Catherine, and the district is very proud of your achievement.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from board members, and we'll have Ms. Nancy O'Kelly go first, please.
Well, good evening, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And I hope everybody's been surviving the heat. I have a feeling it's going to be with us all the way to November at this point. But I just wanted to say tonight how excited I am about the new Rialto Renaissance Marketplace that will be opening soon on the intersection of Ayala and the 210 freeway. If you don't know, Rialto is definitely moving up in the world. The marketplace is going to bring 10,000 jobs to Rialto. It's going to have great dining, shopping, and entertainment. We already have a movie theater there. We're going to have a Cracker Barrel restaurant. We're going to have a September's Tap Room and Pub, a TGI Fridays, a Sonic, a Coffee Nuts. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is going to be a really, really great place. Plus, eventually, there's going to be over 1,600 homes built in that area, which is going to bring us more students, which are always welcome. So keep an eye out. They keep posting things on Facebook and whatever, so you can kind of keep up with the progress. But by this time next year, we should definitely be seeing some real excitement over in that area. And that's all I had to say. I just wanted to share that for those who don't know that we are under construction in Rialto. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from board member Ayala.
Well, thank you, President Walker. I'd like to start with, and I shared a little while ago when I first arrived with some of our guests. I had an unexpected visitor in my backyard yesterday about 7 o'clock in the morning, and that unexpected visitor was a American bald eagle. And I sat there and watched it and took pictures, maybe over 100 pictures. It just sat there on a dead eucalyptus tree, which was part of the golf course, Rancho Verde. And I just called my neighbors and said, go out and look at this beautiful bird. It is very, very rare. It took me 55 years before I saw my first one with my grandkids up in Yosemite, and here, lo and behold, I seen my fourth one in my own backyard. So I thought I'd throw that out at you. Tonight, I was listening to the report from Mr. Navarro and Mrs. Longville on the water issue and the conservation. And you know, we have Seven Oaks Dam. I just want to report out some thoughts here. Seven Oaks Dam is not allowed to fill up the reservoir with water, and I just hope maybe we can question why that is so. And I know probably haven't just a vague idea that it's for safety reasons, so that we don't have floods and flood homes down below. But maybe a compromise would be fill the dam up to 1/3 so we can have more water. On my visit up there, water was just let go and it wasn't being used like a dam should be. So Next, I thought about the 72% of the waste of our water going to the Sacramento, from the Sacramento Delta, going to the ocean. I know we're Southern California. Northern California didn't have the colors that we had, meaning that we have a drought area here. And, you know, it seems like it could be corrected with peripherals. You know, if you've ever played in the sand, you build a little channel, the water will follow that channel. That's what I'm referring to. It is a political issue, and that can be sensitive for some who maybe the peripheral would go through their backyard. But, you know, we do have representatives. This is a one state. Maybe we need to find ways to rectify that situation. We also have a desalination plant in Huntington Beach that's going to cost $1 billion. The water's not for free. We have to buy that water. But maybe we should look into that, the city, the area, and get make sure our opportunity to purchase it is there. Not all the cities will get water from that project. Now remember, I said $1 billion for that project. There's another project coming up that's going to cost $100 billion. Okay? And that project is a bullet train. So I just want you to think what is more important for our kids, for our community, our educational community here, a bullet train or water. And remember the bridge that went to nowhere? I hope this train is not the train that goes to nowhere. Okay, I know I'm overstepping my authority by speaking out, but we did have a project here, and I had an eagle in my backyard, and I, for one, I don't like the water conservation. I think it's unnecessary. I think we need to be proactive, change it, and be proactive in beautifying our communities and not giving up. Look what it did for the desert communities, Las Vegas and Palm Springs. Water transformed those communities. It could help us with projects for our kids in the future. In summary, our educational community has an opportunity. It will be the next election, okay? All I'm asking here with my comments is you, the voters, to vote responsibly. I'm not telling you how to vote, just vote responsibly. And the way you vote is make your priorities. What's most important? The future of our children, the future of our community. Think about it. And I also thank you for the opportunity to share some of my points of view today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from Clerk Montez.
Thank you, Board President Ms. Dina Walker. Good evening, everybody. Buenas noches. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know a lot of people are enjoying their nice summer break time off. I don't have a whole lot for tonight. I just do want to also congratulate my sons, Abel and Angel, from Eisenhower High School on their nomination to take part and represent Eisenhower High School at the Congress of Future Scientists and Technologists held in Lowell, Massachusetts. And thank you, Dr. Avila, for recognizing them. I do want to say that it was the first time that I've ever been to Massachusetts. I thought it was very beautiful. Definitely not what I thought it was going to be. I always imagined Massachusetts looking like New York, you know, East Coast looking like a big city, and it's the complete opposite. It's very green, looks like Oregon, just a lot more humid.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed spending a few days with them out there. I did attend the Congress with them for one day, for half a day anyway, and I think they really enjoyed it. It was very motivational. They had people speak to these high schoolers from all across the country. They had the human calculator there. I forget the guy's name.
Wow.
But he was there showing them some math tricks, and the kids were like starstruck because they say the guy's been on, on TV and on YouTube and all these things. They had a former special education student who he's like a miniature man. I should have brought my notes, but he got his PhD amongst all the odds in his life. He was told that he was only going to live maybe a few years. He had this rare disease, and he went through. He's a doctor, and he gives motivational speeches, and it was just amazing to see how he didn't let any physical disability keep him from achieving an education, and amongst a host of other people that presented at the conference and whatnot. I do want to speak a little bit about the history of Massachusetts, Boston, the communities around there, particularly Lowell. You see a lot of cobblestone in the streets in the downtown, cobblestone that's been there for over 100 years, buildings and whatnot that are just really old from the 1800s. I think they have one place in Boston that's a couple places that are still there, standing since the late 1700s. So there's a lot of history out there.
Did you walk Paul Revere's ride?
I did not walk Paul Revere's, but I did go to the Boston Harbor, and as tempted as I was to throw tea over the into the water, I didn't.
Good.
But tell me, at least you ate lobster.
I did eat lobster.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very, very delicious. I kind of fell in love with the Boston accent over there.
Oh, you do.
And
Get a
I was
cup.
I was trying to talk like that, and people kept telling me, "You're talking weird." But it was very it was even for me, it was very inspirational, and it was just a good experience for my sons and for myself to be able to go out there and participate in that. I also just want to thank the staff from Frisbee for taking part in some of the panels, some of the interview panels for the new principal there at Frisbee Middle School. Not only did you guys ask to be part of that, but we also welcomed the idea, and we thank you for taking part in the process of being a part of that. So we understand some very good candidates applied, and I think we're happy with the decision that this board ultimately made and deliberated about together with the superintendent. And the ball's in your court, and we hope that that we all, just like the board and the superintendent, we all do our part in yourselves, and really doing everything that we can to move forward and make sure that Frisbee is going to continue to be a great school for our children to attend, and even better in the days to come. So thank you for that. And last but not least, I did get a request for me to take the first official selfie ever during a live board meeting. So even though there's people recording me, it's going to be kind of funny to take a picture of me recording people recording me. But here goes, here goes me looking at you, looking at me. And we got that out of the way. So again, thank you all for being here tonight, and looking forward to the start of the new year. And thank you, staff that are here tonight. I know some of you could be taking your vacation, and you chose to not take it right now. So thank you. Gracias to the parents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from Vice President Martinez.
Thank you, President Walker. Mine's going to be short tonight, if you can believe that. And it's really to our staff. To those of you who are enjoying time off, please get some rest. We're going to need all your energy for our kids and the rest of the staff when you get back. For those who are working, thank you for getting things ready. I know that summer's the time where the most work gets done, because everything can be moved out of the offices, out of the rooms, and the deep cleaning and the hard work really go into the books. Then finally, thanks to all our partners in education for their donations, so they don't forget us through the summer. And the donations list really is kind of short, but nonetheless, the donations are much appreciated. Life Touch National School Studios and Staples Distribution Center. So that's it. President Walker.
Thank you. My comments are just, again, to remind people that if next Wednesday we are having our last summer graduation for our 12th graders who will be actually getting their diploma, and they may have taken just a little bit longer than the other students, but we still want to celebrate them. So if you have an opportunity, please see it. It's at 6 o'clock. It's at Rialto High School, right?
Yes.
Rialto High School. And then the last thing is just, well, two things. Last thing is just we're excited about the appointment of the middle school principal. Just looking forward to the next steps and putting together, again, that was a community opportunity to be engaged in the process. There's still some more processes to go, so we look forward to working with you all to make sure that Frisbee has a solid plan to move forward, and it is inclusive of all of our stakeholders for the district. Lastly is, fast track. So college is coming up tomorrow. If you have any student who has a plan to attend Valley College or has not a plan to go to Valley College and is just doing nothing, tomorrow from 8 to 2 they have the fast track to fall going on from 8 to 2 at Valley College, meaning you can get everything done. If you just walk in, you can get everything done. Do your application, take your placement test, and get your classes, the whole shebang. So if you know any young person, or even they don't even have to be young, anybody who's looking to go back to school, tomorrow is the day from 8 to 2 to go to Valley College and get everything done in one time. So I encourage anybody, spread the word, please. And with that, I'll say thank you, and we're going to the next thing. So, public information section. The Williams Settlement Legislation Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report, summary covering April through June 2017. Are there any comments? Nothing? Okay. Next, we'll have consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by a Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Do we have any pulls? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. We are next in our discussion items. Number 1, to approve an agreement with 360-degree therapy to provide speech-language pathologists and speech-language pathologist assistance effective August 3rd, 2017 through June 30th, 2018 at a total cost not to exceed $206,000 to be paid from special education funds. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Yes, Ms. O'Kelly.
It's actually K1 through K4. I just lumped it into one discussion because they're basically all the same. They're all approvals for speech pathologists from different companies.
Okay, so you want to have your different, okay.
So I just want to kind of address it as a whole.
Okay.
But we have to take action
Right.
individually on all discussion action items.
Yes.
And since we have to take action on the items individually, we should probably just address each item before we take action.
Right. She's just going to discuss, and she may be talking about it's the same issue.
I just have
Yeah.
a couple of questions.
Okay.
I understand our need for speech pathologists, but I don't understand why we're being asked here to approve a total of $709,000 to be paid to 4 different companies to provide speech pathologists that we need. I remember when they addressed the board and they asked repeatedly for us to hire speech pathologists. They can be part of our district rather than hiring all these companies to supply them. So I'm thinking for $709,000, why aren't we looking to hire at least 5 to 6 speech pathologists and add them to our staff where maybe we won't have these problems anymore?
Is there someone who can address that? Thank
Rhonda.
We have actually hired 2. There were 3 new positions added for this school year. We have hired 2 for this next school year. We just received resignations. We kept hearing resignations were coming, but we did not receive them here until the last week of June. We are still recruiting, trying to find speech therapists to come to our district. We are looking at making some additional changes that we're in discussions with the union regarding our speech therapists.
So are these agenda items simply if we need them, but we're not,
Exactly.
if we don't need them, we're not paying this amount of money?
Exactly.
And our goal is to get them on staff, and we don't have to deal with all these outside companies anymore.
Yes, our goal is to have all positions filled before the start of the school year.
Okay.
I think part of the problem, if I may, I think part of the problem is that there's a shortage of speech pathologists. There's a shortage, and
Well, I know
speech
that,
pathologists are not applying at Rialto Unified School District as much as we'd like them to apply. Some factors could be salary reasons, and that's something that was also suggested by our own speech pathologists in order to not only retain but to recruit new speech pathologists. Now the district's hired two additional speech pathologists, and one of the things that I remember in years back regarding speech pathologists is when we've been questioned, when board members have questioned why are we spending so much, or when people from the community have questioned why are we spending so much, is because these services are needed